the 27th of April 2011, and I've finally decided how to deal with my census forms that came through the post a few weeks ago. As you can see, I'm sending them back, no contract, return to sender. There are three main reasons for doing this. The first reason is that a large portion of the actual processing of the census is being done by a company called Lockheed Martin UK, which is in itself is a subsidiary of the American company Lockheed Martin. Now this is a quote defence contractor, which if you do the double speak to English translation actually translates to offence contractor. Now the way I see it, that is a terrorist organisation, and I believe it's an offence to provide any data whatsoever to terrorist organisations. So either I fill in the census, or I don't fill in the census, or I don't provide data to a terrorist organisation. Basically, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. And I see the fact of not sending data to the census as probably the lesser of two evils. Secondly, I'm a bit uncomfortable with such personal, sensitive data being sat and processed on a computer system somewhere, because as we all know, computers get hacked into. WikiLeaks being a good example of sensitive data that's been leaked into the mainstream. Another good example, very, very recently, is the PlayStation network that's been hacked into, and a lot of unencrypted sensitive information has apparently been stolen. And thirdly, regarding to the second point, is the fact that I think government departments have a notorious record for usage and storage of this type of sensitive information, and actually losing track of it and falling into the wrong hands and whatnot. So I'm a bit uncomfortable on that aspect. The third point is the envelope was actually addressed to the occupier. Now, as far as I'm concerned, if anything says the occupier when it's posted to the letterbox, it's unsolicited mail, stuff that I've never asked for and don't want, don't wish, like applications for credit cards and special offers on pizzas, stuff like that. So normally that sort of stuff gets no further consideration and just goes straight in the bin. So the fact that the census form is sat here on the table now means at least I've given it a little bit of consideration. Now, the bottom of the census envelope, a census response is required. Well, I'm providing a response by the fact that I'm putting it back in the letterbox. No contract return to sender. But I think it's an interesting point. But where it says response required by law, now I'm not too sure on the ins and outs of this, but I believe, from what I've seen, it's actually an offence in itself of gross negligence, I believe, for a failure to specify between a criminal law or common law and statute law, and I think that falls under the common law offence of fraud. So that's an interesting point. So I'm going to pop this in the postbox very shortly. I did have a reminder pop through the letterbox a couple of days ago. Now this is the second such reminder, exactly the same wording, other than a couple of flashing highlighted neon pointers on it, obviously saying urgent, we want your money. You could be fined up to £1,000 if you refuse. And I'm not actually point blank refusing to fill in the census. I'm more than happy to fill in the census, providing that certain conditions of my own are met. So I'm not refusing at all to do the census. So the first one of these I actually put in the recycling, good citizen as I am. But this one I thought I'd deal with slightly different. As you can see at the back of the census envelope itself, if undelivered, please return to that free post address, which in itself is interesting because all the letters were actually posted through letterboxes, I believe. They weren't hand delivered. So actually, how can this be undelivered if it's actually being put through a letterbox? Well, that's another point. But this second reminder, I thought I'd deal with slightly differently, and I'm basically going to pop that back in the envelope at the same time. Not the envelope, sorry, the postbox at the same time. So it's a free post address. It's free for me, not free for the Office of National Statistics. So yeah, I'm just going to go and deal with these right now. So, bye-bye.